It was a quiet evening in the Ibezim household. The sprawling mansion perched on a hill overlooking the city of Enugu was a testament to the wealth and influence of the family that resided within. Chief and Lolo Ibezim had built their fortune from the ground up, and their children were expected to carry on the legacy with the same level of success and prestige. Adaeze Ibezim, the eldest daughter, was the epitome of control. Her sharp features and no-nonsense demeanor had earned her the respect and fear of those around her. She was a successful lawyer, known for her ruthless efficiency in the courtroom, but it was her role within the family that she took most seriously. She was the one who kept everything in order, who made sure that the family name remained untainted. But right now, that name was in danger. Adaeze paced the length of the living room, her heels clicking against the marble floor. She was furious. Though she kept her emotions tightly in check, her brother Chika was sitting on his sofa, his head in his hand. He looked defeated, and Adaeze's anger fled even more at the sight of him. "This is unacceptable, Chika," she snapped, stopping in front of him. "5 years of marriage and still no child? What are people saying about us? What are they saying about you?" Chika looked up, his eyes bloodshot and weary. "What do you want me to do, Adaeze? We've tried everything. Nkechi has been to every doctor, every specialist. It's not her fault." "Not her fault?" Adaeze scoffed. "It's her only job as a wife to give you an heir, to continue the Ibezim name. If she can't do that, what good is she?" Chika winced at the harshness of her voice. He loved Nkechi. She had been his rock, his support through all the challenges they had faced together. But the pressure from his family, from society, was unbearable. The whispers, the pitying looks, the gossip, it was too much. "I can't just throw her away," Chika said quietly. "She's my wife." Adaeze's eyes narrowed. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made for the greater good. If Nkechi can't fulfill her duties, then we need to find someone who can give you what you need. Chika looked up at her, confusion and fear in his eyes. "What are you saying?" Adaeze leaned in closer, her voice low and dangerous. Adaeze's eyes narrowed. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made for the greater good. If Nkechi can't fulfill her duties, then we need to find someone who can give you what you need. Chika looked up at her, confusion and fear in his eyes. "What are you saying?" Adaeze leaned in closer, her voice low and dangerous. "I'm saying it is time to end this charade. Divorce Nkechi and marry someone who can give you children, someone like Amaka." "Amaka?" Chika's brow furrowed. "Your friend?" "She's perfect for you," Adaeze insisted. "She's beautiful, smart, and most importantly, she can give you the children you need. I've spoken to her and she's willing." Chika felt a chill down his spine. This wasn't just about him and Nkechi anymore. This was about power, control, and Adaeze's twisted sense of duty to the family. But he was too tired, too beaten down to fight her. And to crown it all, too cowardly. "Think about it," Adaeze said, her tone softening. "Do what's right for the family. Nkechi will understand." Chika sat down in his study, staring at the divorce papers that Adaeze had prepared for him. The decision weighed heavily on him, tearing at his conscience. Nkechi was a good woman, and she had stood by him through everything. But the pressure from his family was relentless. The desire to please them, to live up to their expectation, was overpowering. He picked up his phone and dialed Nkechi's number. It rang twice before she picked up. Chika, her voice was soft, filled with concern. "Can you come home early today?" Chika asked, his voice strained. "We need to talk." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "Of course, I'll be there soon." Chika hung up and buried his face in his hands. How was he going to tell her? How could he ask her to leave after everything they had been through together? When Nkechi walked through the door an hour later, she knew something was wrong. Chika was standing by the window staring out at the city. The tension in the room could be felt. "Chika, what's going on?" Nkechi asked, her heart pounding. Chika turned to face her, his expression pained. "Nkechi, we've been through so much together, but I've been under a lot of pressure from my family. They want me to end our marriage." Nkechi's heart dropped. "What? Why?" "You know why," Chika said, his voice barely above a whisper. "They want an heir, and after all these years, we still haven't been able to have a child." She felt a wave of nausea wash over her. She had feared this moment, but hearing the words out loud was like a knife to her heart. "I don't know what to say," she stammered, tears welling up in her eyes. Chika took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "This isn't what I want, Nkechi, but Adeze, she's convinced me that it's the only way. She's already spoken to a lawyer and she thinks you should leave." Nkechi felt like the ground had been pulled out from under her. She had known that Adeze never liked her, but this was beyond anything she could have imagined. "And what do you think, Chika?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Do you want me to leave?" Chika looked at her, his eyes filled with guilt and shame. "I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry, Nkechi." Nkechi stood there staring at the man she had loved for so many years, the man she had supported, cared for, and stood by, even when times were tough. And now he was asking her to leave because she couldn't give him a child. The pain was too much to bear. Without another word, Nkechi turned and walked out of the room, her heart shattered into a million pieces. The divorce was finalized quickly, and Nkechi was forced to leave the house she had shared with Chika. Adeze wasted no time in arranging the marriage between Chika and Amaka. The wedding was a grand affair attended by the elite of the society. Adeze basked in the glory of her success, convinced that she had done what was best for the family. Amaka, now Mrs. Chika Bezim, settled into her new life with ease. She was charming, beautiful, and knew how to play the role of the perfect wife. The Ibezim family welcomed her with open arms, grateful that she had brought new life into their midst. Within a year, Amaka announced that she was pregnant. The news spread like wildfire and the family rejoiced. Adeze was particularly pleased knowing that she had been right all along. Nkechi had been the problem, and now that she was out of the picture, everything was falling into place. But what the family didn't know was that Amaka had a secret. She had never been faithful to Chika. From the moment she realized he was sterile, she had begun an affair with a man who could give her the children she needed to secure her place in the family. Amaka gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and a year later a girl followed. The Ibezim family were overjoyed, and Chika was proud to finally have the children he had always wanted. But the truth about their parentage was hidden beneath the surface, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Life in the Ibezim household appeared perfect on the surface. Amaka, now the adored wife of Chika, seemed to have everything she had desired. Her two children, Chika and Zainab, were the pride of the family, often flaunted at social gatherings and family events. Chika was beaming with joy, having finally achieved his dream of fatherhood. However, the underlying tension of deceit was not yet known to the family. One evening, as Amaka was preparing dinner, Chika suddenly fell ill. He complained of severe pain in his legs and had a high fever. Alarmed, Amaka rushed him to the family doctor. The diagnosis was a blow. Chika had been suffering from sickle cell anemia. Amaka's heart raised as she absorbed the gravity of the situation. Her genotype was AS and Chika's genotype is AA. Obviously, the man she had slept with had a genotype of AA, leading to Chika being a sickle cell patient. This was not just a health issue, it was a revelation that threatened to expose the truth about the children's parentage. Sickle cell anemia was a genetic disorder that required both parents to be carriers of the gene. Chika being sterile had no genetic contribution, which meant the children could not have inherited the condition from him. As days passed, Chuka's condition worsened. The family grew increasingly concerned. Adeze, who had always been a staunch supporter of Chika, began to notice the discrepancies. The illness of Chika, coupled with the stress and worry on Amaka's face, sparkled a series of questions in her mind. And being an investigative lawyer, she knew something was wrong. One evening, Adeze decided to confront Amaka. She found her sitting alone in the garden, staring blankly at the stars. The conversation began with small talks but quickly shifted to more pressing matters. Amaka, I need to know something, Adeze began, her voice steady but firm. There's been something bothering me about Chuka's illness. Sickle cell anemia. It's a genetic condition. How is it possible? Amaka's face turned pale. She had hoped that the sickness would remain an isolated issue, but Adeze's suspicion had put her on edge and she knew she had to be careful. She tried bribing the doctors, but obviously Adeze was beginning to dig deep. The doctor said it's a rare case. They are doing everything they can, Amaka said defensively. Adeze was not convinced. Her intuition told her there was more to the story. As days went by, she continued to dig deeper, visiting the doctors and consulting with geneticists to understand the full scope of the situation. She also decided to hire a private investigator to investigate what was going on. The truth finally came to light at a family gathering. The stress of Chuka's condition had taken its toll on Amaka, who found herself unable to keep up the pretense anymore. During a heated argument with Adeze, who had confronted her after the investigator had revealed everything to her, she broke down and confessed her affair and deception she had orchestrated. The gathering was filled with gasps and cries of disbelief as Amaka revealed that Chika had never been the biological father of their children. She had used her affair to get pregnant and had lied to everyone about the true nature of their parentage. The shock was so much. Chika was devastated, unable to comprehend the betrayal. Adeze, who had pushed for this arrangement, felt an overwhelming sense of guilt and shame. The entire family was thrown into disarray as the implication of Amaka's confession unraveled. As the truth came out, Amaka faced public disgrace. Chika was left to grapple with the emotional fallout of his wife's betrayal. The family reputation, which they had tried so hard to protect, was finally tarnished, and the trust that had once existed between them was shattered. Nkechi, who had moved on and found a new life and was currently pregnant, was drawn into the drama. She learned of the situation through a mutual acquaintance and was both hurt and vindicated. She had endured so much pain and was finally given the justice she deserved. Amaka's affair had not only led to a crisis within the family, but also jeopardized the well-being of her own children. Chuka's health continued to deteriorate, and the family struggled to provide him with the necessary care he needed. In the midst of the chaos, Chika decided to take action. He filed for a divorce from Amaka, and the legal proceedings were swift. Amaka was left with nothing, her former status and privileges all stripped away. As time went on, the family began to rebuild. Chika sought therapy and counseling to heal from the emotional wounds. He worked to repair the relationship that had been damaged, particularly with his sister Adaeze. Adaeze, consumed by guilt, dedicated herself to making amends. She supported Chika and his children, providing financial and emotional assistance. She also worked to mend their strained relationship with Nkechi, acknowledging her role in the initial conflict. The family learned hard lessons about honesty and integrity. Years later, Chika's children had grown. Chuka's condition was managed with medical advances, and he was a resilient young man, strong in spirit and character. Zainab had also grown into a compassionate and intelligent young woman, and thankfully, she didn't have the sickle cell disease.